I want to challenge you to a duel. Actually, I want you to show me all of your house plants. I want to see every one of them. I'm going to show you mine right now. You ready? I have what's called a mother-in-law tongue or a snake plant. Don't mind the mess outside. Yuck. This was given to me by a lady just recently. In 9 Mile, I think. And then this is a beautiful spider plant. This came from St. Mary's, Idaho. In the elementary school, they had this huge green non-variegated spider plant, and the lady asked me if I wanted some cutting. She was going to cut it back. I said yes, and there you go. And it's loving this light. This is a variegated spider plant. I've had this one for many years, but its mother also came from St. Mary's, Idaho, when I worked out there. And this is even this one too. This came out of an insurance agency in their lobby. I snuck one out of there. Yeah. And then up here, I have this beautiful, if you can see what the light where it is. I have this absolutely beautiful Christmas cactus. I think it's either Christmas or Easter. I'm not sure. I can never remember which one is which when it comes to the spikes on the leaves, but it is Zygo cactus is what they're calling it. This thing's gotten huge since I put it here in the window too. So, ooh, looks like it's gonna have possibly some more flowers coming on. Here in my kitchen window, I got this dragon fruit from my friend Babs in Southern California. And it's done a lot of growth in the last couple of months. And then this one, this is a crown of thorns with white flowers on it. This was about 6 or 7 years ago, a cutting, only about 2.5 inches. And it came off of this massive one that is at my mom's house. And then I have this, and this is just put on a bunch of new growth recently. Also, for like the last 10 years, I think I've had it. And it didn't do anything, and now I put it in this window, and all of a sudden it grows. But this aloe was acquired by an old neighbor of ours who passed away. And her daughter and granddaughter gave us all a lot of her plants. This was one of those. Okay, so this one, I believe is called an arrowhead. It's a variegated arrowhead. And then in its pot, I also have one of these guys. I can't remember what they're called either off the top of my head, but they're a very common plant. But this variegated arrow thing came from my mother-in-law. She was getting rid of a bunch of her old houseplants and threw that one my way. And then right above it, this is also the same spider plant that came from that school. These are all of the babies from like 2 years ago that I took off the original one. And yeah. And then down here on the end, don't mind the mess. I don't remember what this is called, but I'm sure in the comments section below she will let me know. This came also from my friend Babs, who sent this to me with the dragon fruit. And this thing is not put a flower on, but it's been looking like this. Actually, this leaf and this leaf are new, but it's been putting leaves on and then dying off after a while for I think about a year, maybe a year and a half. I don't know. I think it's about a year. And then underneath it in another pot, And these ones here don't get a whole lot of light in the living room. This is what I believe is called, oh, that's death. Believe is called a corn plant, I think. Anyways, these things grow extremely tall. You can see where I've cut it off before. This particular plant, when I acquired it, this came from that neighbor of mine who passed away as well. This was, I want to say, about 9 feet tall. We had to cut it down because it just wouldn't fit in the house. And it's been looking like this for at least 2 years. And then this is my Desert King fig. And I bought this online on Etsy.com. Let's see, this is going on 3 years ago, I think I bought this. And it's gone into dormancy twice, but it's been in this situation now for about a year, and it's huge. See how big it is? It's absolutely massive. And it is going to find itself outside this year because Desert King will grow perfectly fine in my climate. And then down on the ground here, I have a bunch of different, and I got to repot these up, but I have a bunch of different snake or mother-in-law tongues, but they're all different variegations and stuff. And I don't know how many plants are in there, but there's got to be like 12 maybe. So they're going to find themselves a new home here soon when they get a little bit of time. And then in the window, it's loving it. This is called a, let me see if I can remember. You can get these at Christmas time, and usually they have like little bulbs and stuff on them. It's actually a type of fern. Norfolk pine is what it's called. Very soft, and then when they dry out, they get real crunchy and brittle. But it just started putting this new tier on within the last month, and it's actually got knocked over, so it's been repotted just recently because it got knocked over. Hiding over here in the dark, which it really shouldn't. It should be in the sun. This guy I've had around for probably 4 years now. This is a pineapple plant, and it's not put off a pineapple. They say, oh yeah, after a certain amount of time, you know, they'll put on pineapples. This one is just not getting enough sunlight, maybe. It has a very small root system, and it's also been knocked over 2 or 3 times by the cat. That's why it's kind of hiding in the corner. Try to protect it a little bit. But my friend Bab, she does a pineapple challenge. She's still doing it. She's probably the only one that's still doing it. And I watch and watch and I watch. But I think I started this maybe before she did, but I'm not 100%. But yeah, there's a great video. I did a video on how to properly propagate pineapples, and then so did Ray Browning from the Praxis 5512 channel, or the Voodoo Garden, I think is actually what it was. He did it on the Voodoo Garden. And right next to it, I got this recently. I think I got this for Christmas. I don't remember. This is another crown of thorns, different family altogether, though, because this one puts on this gorgeous reddish. I'm trying to get more light on the other side. Gorgeous reddish pink flowers, big flowers. Hiding over here in the corner behind my router, I've had this guy. This is a jade. I've had this guy for probably about, oh gosh, I want to say almost 10 years. And we had problems growing it to begin with, and it continued to rot in the base, and was figuring out that I was overwatering it. But succulents are a lot like cactuses. They like a good, nice watering after they completely dry out. And the last one, it hides in my bathroom. Got in pretty lights all over it. Isn't it pretty? This is a I would call a semi variegated, because some leaves are variegated and some are not. I have had this particular plant, so I believe it's called a hosta, but I've had this particular plant in my life for nearly 26 or 27 years. I got this given to me as a gift right before, a couple of years before I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it was actually my personal very first houseplant. And what I find is the more I neglect it and the more I ignore it, the better it does and the more it grows. All right, y'all. Well, that's pretty much it. So I want to see your houseplants. So get out the camera and turn it on your houseplants. I challenge you. Let me see those houseplants. All right, y'all. See you real soon.